Britain's shops have been celebrating Black Friday, with retailers trying to seduce shoppers with reductions, discounts, deals, you've heard it. The event, which was predicted to create chaotic scenes on the high street like it did last year, has seen actually less shopper traffic this winter, down by as much as 4% year on year. It caused some to predict the Black Friday phenomenon would fade away in the very near future. Joining us live from central London, the independent retail analyst and managing director of Fieldworks Marketing, Chris Field. Hi there. Are you surprised it's been a little less busy this year?
Not really. I think it does look like there is a bit of a backlash. Black Friday, yes. I think the consumer's a bit more savvy. They're getting made. They're being made offers pretty much all of the week, so they don't feel the need to actually necessarily do something on a Friday. And I also think retailers don't want to see all of those awful scenes last year where people were in stores fighting over products.
The difference is it's all gone to online, hasn't it? I mean, we've had a press release from Currys PC World selling 100 large screen TVs a minute today. So the traffic online is just huge.
Indeed, it does look like some of that traffic is moving to online, and it's certainly more convenient for the retailers because in some ways they can fulfill it predictably and get stuff out to people.
Where does it come from, Chris, and who sustains it? I mean, presumably it's the retailers that want it.
The retailers definitely don't want it. As you probably know, it's an American idea where it probably makes more sense because it was created around the Thanksgiving period, and it's always been a big shopping period. But in the UK, there's no real precedent for it. And if you think, why on earth would retailers, UK retailers, want to give away so much margin before Christmas, with the risk that they just bring forward their sales? So they'll make the sales on the Black Friday that they may then not make further down the line. So actually, it's a bit of a disaster. And then if you consider that a lot of those goods are going to come straight back. We spoke to a company called Clear Returns who reckon that about 160 million quid's worth of stuff will be returned by consumers out of the billion or so that will be spent. So if you think you're a retailer, you've lost the sale, you then have the added cost of running it back through your supply chain into the warehouse. So from that point of view, it's a bit of a disaster.
Wow,
and I genuinely think next year we're not going to see it at the same rate, and there's clearly people are switching off, I think.
Wow, yeah, very interesting. We seem to have in our shopping calendar, if there is such a thing, more dates. Do we event shop far more now?
We do. I think the thing is that we are pretty clever. Let's think about it. I spoke to the guy on the way into the studio. He's got it all worked out. He's looking at the deals throughout the year. He knows that sometimes the price is high, and actually the discount on the actual day may only be a discount on the very highest price, and he might be able to get it a better price at another time of year. So the consumer's pretty clever, and I think it's a lot tougher for the retailer to understand how the consumer is operating and at least keep up with them, if not a step ahead.
When I'm thinking of other dates, I mean, Halloween has become such a massive thing for retailers, with the confectionery and all of those sorts of things as well, but also the costumes, the decorations. It's all enticing us to spend more money on particular occasions.
I'm not sure that the total spend is necessarily going up. It is quite tough for retailers to make money and make a profit, particularly in an economy where, yes, salaries are rising, employment rates are reasonably high, but the truth is that disposable incomes are not really rising, and therefore retailers are having to fight pretty hard to get their share of it. And the great thing about events is that consumers like it. It gives them a reason to look forward to purchases that they will make against, as you say, Halloween, and indeed to some extent Black Friday. But I think, as I said earlier, I think there's a gradual turning off, and I do wonder next year that it will be so low-key that it will simply be something for those retailers that want to embrace it, certainly the electronics retailers and those retailers that bought stock in January against the demand around Black Friday. But for everyone else, I think they'll just kind of turn it down a bit.
Yeah, and I wonder whether people don't actually want to just have a good deal throughout the year. Split the difference, OK? From the highest price to the sale price on Black Friday. Give us that middle price all the way through the year.
There are deals all the time. Isn't that the truth? I mean, retailers, they're going to make their money, they're going to make most of their profits in that last quarter of the year. But the truth is, the deals are pretty good and the consumers are pretty smart. We're using mail order, we're using online, we're using the stores to check those prices and buy at the time that's most convenient to us. So I think we've kind of got the whip hand, and the retailers, they're having to catch up, and that's a tough job for all of them.
Well, good to hear. Chris Field, thank you very much for talking to us today. More on this in the business news coming next.